to science video lessons. In the chapter of electricity, you studied about heating effect of electric current. Today, let us learn about another effect of electric current. Children, now we'll start the lesson with a simple experiment. Hans Christian Ørsted, a Denmark scientist, conducted this experiment in 1820, the beginning of 19th century. You will just see what happens. What did he do? We are going to repeat the same thing. Here we have a magnetic needle mounted on a pivot. Now we are going to place a current carrying conductor aligned with the magnetic needle. Listen here, listen, observe this simple experiment what Hans Christian Ørsted did in the beginning of 19th century. Now the magnetic needle is aligned in the north-south direction, and the current carrying conductor, the metal wire, is also aligned in the north-south direction, and we are going to pass current through the wire from south to north direction, and we'll see how the magnetic needle behave, any change in the direction of the magnetic needle. I'm going to switch on the eliminator. Current is flowing from south to north, and the magnetic needle deflects towards west. You can observe this. The north-south aligned magnetic needle is getting deflected towards west. Have you observed this? I hope you understood it. Now we are going to reverse the direction. So reverse the direction of current in the metal conductor aligned with the magnetic needle, and see the changes in the magnetic needle. The needle, observe please, the needle deflects towards eastern direction. So this is the simple experiment conducted by Hans Christian Ørsted in the beginning of 19th century. Okay, that's all the experiment. Dear children, what did you learn from this simple experiment? When the current flows through the straight conductor aligned with the magnetic needle, and when the current flows from south to northern direction, the magnetic needle deflects towards west. When the direction of current in the wire is reversed, that means when current is made to flow from north to south direction, the needle deflects towards east. So the deflection of the needle depends on the direction of current flowing through the metal conductor. Now one question here, whether the needle deflects or not. What is the reason for the deflection in the magnetic needle? That is the main question here. When a current carrying conductor is held aligned with the magnetic needle or brought near a magnetic needle, the magnetic needle deflects. What is the reason for this? If the magnetic needle has to deflect from its original position, there should be another magnetic force nearby the magnetic needle. We don't have any other magnet here, only the current carrying conductor. That means to say current in the conductor induces magnetic field around it. Current in the conductor, straight conductor, induces magnetic field around it. This is called magnetic effect of electric current. So today we are going to learn about magnetic effect of electric current. Children, Einstein conducted the experiment and he repeated the experiment in different ways. He found that the deflection in the magnetic needle depends on the direction of current in the conductor. The amount of deflection is again proportional to the amount of current in the conductor. When current is increased, he found that the deflection is also getting increased. When current is decreased, the deflection is getting decreased. So the magnetic field produced around a current carrying conductor depends on the amount of current flowing through the conductor. The strength of the magnetic field depends on the amount of current flowing through the conductor. The direction of magnetic field depends on the direction of electric current. The simple truth of this experiment is widely used in various fields in electronics and electrical technology. Now, we will conduct another simple experiment. Here we have placed a bar magnet on the table facing north-south direction and a white sheet of paper above the bar magnet, and I am going to sprinkle some iron filings iron dust on the sheet of paper. If you observe keenly, you can see that the iron filings get aligned in a particular pattern around the magnet. You can see the boundary, the shape of the magnet on the paper. If I tap this paper slightly, you can see the iron filings getting aligned in a particular pattern. You see the iron filings are getting aligned in this direction from north to south. Have you observed this? What is the reason for this alignment of iron filings around the magnet? What is the reason for the iron filings to get aligned in a particular pattern around the magnet? You know, a magnet has magnetic force around it. Magnet has magnetic force around it. The magnetic force around a magnet is called magnetic field. Magnetic field. The region around a magnet where magnetic force is felt, the strength of the magnet is felt, is called magnetic field. And in a magnetic field, the magnetic force are in particular direction from north pole to south pole externally. So it is like this. Assume that this is a bar magnet. is the north pole of the bar magnet, this is the south pole of the bar magnet. So all around this magnet there is magnetic field, and the field is like a loop, like loops from north pole to south pole all around the magnet. So magnetic field around a magnet is like a stretched loop emerging from north pole and merging at south pole externally. This stretched loop or stretched line along which the iron filings get aligned is called or are called magnetic lines of force. So around a magnet there is magnetic field, and this magnetic field is not something like a sawdust or like rice flour spread around. The magnetic field is along particular closed loop starting from north pole and ending at south pole externally. Internally, the magnetic lines of force are from south pole to north pole. So magnetic lines of force are closed loops from north pole to south pole and so back from south pole to north pole internally. The magnetic field around a bar magnet, from this experiment you saw, it's not very clear in this experiment, but the pattern of magnetic lines of force will be almost like this, from north pole to south pole, and internally from south pole to north pole, and appears as closed loops. Now we shall learn the properties of magnetic lines of force. First one, magnetic lines of force are closed loops apparently emerging from north pole and merging at south pole externally. Appears as if the magnetic lines of force emerge from north pole and merge at south pole, and internally from this south pole to north pole. So magnetic lines of force are, first one, magnetic lines of force are closed loops from north pole to south pole externally, out to north internal. This is one of the properties of magnetic lines of force. They are closed loops, appear like closed loops, emerging from north pole to north pole and ending at south pole or merging at south pole externally, and from south pole to north pole internally. So each magnetic line, magnetic force, line of force is a closed loop. Now second property, magnetic lines of force never intersect. So there is no chance that two magnetic lines of force crossing over or intersect. What is the reason? If two magnetic lines of force intersect, assume that they are intersecting. Then a magnetic needle placed at that point of intersection need to align in two different directions. Aligning two different directions, which is not possible. The needle aligns either only in one direction. So a magnetic needle getting aligned in two different directions at a particular position is not possible. So it's a conclusion. What is the conclusion? Magnetic lines of force never intersect each other. But may merge If I bring the north pole of a magnet and the south pole of another magnet nearby, the magnetic lines of force merge each other. North pole of a magnet and the south pole of another magnet are brought closer. Now you see it's coming closer and closer, and it clings. The north pole of one magnet and the south pole of another magnet closer. Okay, coming closer. At one point the two poles cling. That shows that the magnetic lines of force are merging. If I hold it apart and I sprinkle some iron filings here, you can see lines of force are merging like this. The lines of force are merging like this. So, magnetic lines of force never intersect each other, but may merge each other. That is another property of magnetic lines of force. The strength of a magnetic field depends on the density of magnetic lines of force per unit area. The strength of a magnetic field depends on number of magnetic lines of force per unit area. If the number of magnetic lines of force is more per unit area, then the magnetic field is strong. The strength is more. If it is less, the strength is less. The strength of magnetic field is measured in a unit called Oersted. Hans Christian Oersted demonstrated the experiment and showed to the world the magnetic effect of electric current, and as a respect to this scientist, the magnetic field strength is measured in a unit called Oersted. A simple device here, you can see inside there is a magnetic magnetic needle mounted such a way that it is freely moving. So the magnetic needle is free to move, such a way it is mounted, and it get aligned in the north-south direction due to Earth's magnetic field. All these things you know. Now, aligned with the magnetic needle, we have a loop of conducting wire, copper wire of many turns is wound around this box. Okay. So a loop is made with so many turns, and the two ends of the loop is connected to a source of electric current. Now we are going to pass electric current through the loop, and you see the deflection in the magnetic needle. Okay. So now current is flowing in this direction, and the deflection is towards west. The amount of deflection, look here, Oersted's experimental, the amount of deflection increases with increase in current through the loop. So if I decrease the current, see, deflection decreases. If I increase the current, see, the deflection increases. You got it? Okay. I am decreasing the current. Now I reverse the direction of current. I am going to reverse the direction. Just to change the connection. Now you see the magnetic needle is aligned in north-south direction along with this loop. Now I am going to increase the current, and you see the direction of deflection of the magnetic needle. If I decrease, it will get aligned. The current is zero, so it is aligned in the north-south direction. I am slightly increasing, little by little I am increasing the current. You see how beautiful it is. This is what Oersted discovered or invented. The amount of deflection is proportional to the current flowing through the conductor. Whether it is a straight conductor or a loop, the amount of magnetic field produced is proportional to the current flowing through the conductor. Okay, fine. Children, I've drawn a simple diagram. This is a piece of cardboard wherein two holes A and B are made. So two holes are made in the cardboard sheet, and a loop of copper wire is made to pass through. Loop consisting many turns. This is the loop, okay? In the figure it's not possible, so many turns are there. And the ends of the loop is connected to a battery or a battery eliminator and a switch. So this is the simple experimental setup. Now, if a current is made to flow through this loop, you have seen the Oersted's experiment. Magnetic field is produced. Magnetic field is produced. What is the direction of the magnetic field produced? In a current carrying loop. That is the question here. How to find the direction of the magnetic field due to a current in a loop? We have a rule called Fleming's right hand thumb rule, or Maxwell's right hand thumb rule. Maxwell's right hand cork rule, we say. Maxwell's right hand cork rule, or Fleming's right hand thumb rule. So the thumb rule says, if a straight conductor, assume that this is a straight conductor is held in your right hand, wherein the thumb shows the direction of flow of current, then The remaining four fingers are wrapping the conductor. Shows the direction of magnetic field produced around the conductor. So same rule is applied to find the direction of magnetic field produced by a current in a loop. So Fleming's right hand thumb rule is also very important. I'll repeat. If a current carrying conductor, straight conductor is held in your right hand, thumb shows the direction of current in the conductor, then the remaining fingers wrapping the conductor shows the direction of magnetic field produced around the conductor. This is called Maxwell's right hand grip rule or Fleming's right hand thumb rule. Understand? So different names, don't get confused. So Maxwell's right hand cork rule or right hand thumb rule, or Fleming's right hand grip rule or right hand thumb rule, all the same, all one and the same. So that this particular rule is applied here to find the direction of magnetic field produced in a current carrying loop. Now look at this figure. The current is flowing. This is the loop from here. See, look here, from the battery, the current flows and it keeps flowing in this direction, clockwise direction. Now, see here, we'll apply Maxwell's or Fleming's right hand grip rule here. See, this is the current conductor. I am holding it right, upright, and this thumb shows the direction of current. Okay, the remaining fingers shows the direction of magnetic field induced around the conductor. So look here. Up. Now this side of the loop, you hold it this way, and it is coming down now. Hold it this way. Now you see, this is the direction of the induced magnetic field. At the center of the loop, at the axis of the loop, you see, the magnetic lines of force are in the same direction and almost uniform. Almost uniform. See, the lines are very, compactly placed. They are parallel to each other. More number of lines pass through the axis of the coil, and they are almost parallel. Here in this diagram, because we have taken only a loop, it's not a solenoid. A loop having many turns in a circular tube, it's called a solenoid. If it is a solenoid, it will be almost parallel. Here there is little deviation is there, but still at the axis of the loop, the magnetic lines of force are assumed to be parallel and at the same direction. Now, I hope I made it clear. You can easily find the direction of magnetic field produced by a current in a loop, making use of Fleming's right hand grip rule. Now, how do you see? If the current is flowing in the clockwise direction at one end of the loop or a solenoid, that and clockwise direction, that end will be south pole of the solenoid. The end wherein the current appears to flow in the anti-clockwise direction is the north pole of the loop. We are going to demonstrate this experimentally. We are going to do it experimentally. Loop or a solenoid. This is called a solenoid because it is cylindrical in shape, and all through the length of the cylinder copper wire is wound. So we don't call it as a loop, we call it as a solenoid having many turns. So here the current flows in clockwise direction. Here current flows in clockwise direction. Here it is in anti-clockwise direction. Okay. Now just to check the direction of magnetic field, I am placing a soft iron bolt inside the loop. Children, you might have played with electromagnets, no? Same thing happens here. Let's switch the circuit on. Look here, this is a bar magnet. This is the north pole of the bar magnet. And you know, here the current is flowing in the clockwise direction. So it should be south pole of this electromagnet. Look here, north and south clinch. So this is south pole of the solenoid. That means magnetic field along the axis of the loop in this direction. Then obviously this is the north pole. See, this is the south pole of the magnet and this is the north pole, so it's attraction. If I reverse, see, no attraction. It's pushing away. Here also, it's pushing away. You understand? So this is, now this solenoid produces magnetic field along its axis in a direction similar to that of a bar magnet in the north-south direction. So this is the north pole, this is the south pole. North pole is the end of the solenoid where the current flows in the anti-clockwise direction, and south pole is the end of the solenoid where the current flows in clockwise direction. So the point is very clear. Magnetic field in a current carrying solenoid is found making use of Fleming's right hand grip rule, or we call it Maxwell's right hand cork rule also. Okay. Children, there is a simple method to find the direction of magnetic field in a solenoid. If you know the direction in which current is flowing through the solenoid, then it is easy to find the direction of magnetic field. Wrap the solenoid in your right hand. The four fingers wrapping the solenoid, if shows the direction of current, then thumb shows the direction of magnetic field inside the solenoid. Understand? So according to that rule, this is the north pole and this is the south pole, and experimentally we also checked it. This is the south pole, this is the north pole. If I reverse the direction of current, then it also get reversed. I'll just show you. See, it was the south pole before, and when the north pole is brought near, it should attract. Now this has become the north pole and this is the south pole, you see. So when the direction of current in the solenoid is reversed, the pole also gets reversed. A current carrying solenoid and a bar magnet behaves the same way. We have demonstrated, you observe, the current carrying solenoid shows two poles similar to a bar magnet. So, when a current is made to flow through a solenoid produces magnetic field around it and especially in the axial line. And if a soft iron material is placed inside the solenoid, the soft iron material temporarily becomes a magnet. This is called an electromagnet. Electromagnets or electromagnetism, the idea of electromagnets is widely used in different fields in electronics and electrical engineering. You are familiar with the modern medical diagnostic equipment called MRI scanning. Everybody says, oh, MRI scanning. What is this MRI scanning? Magnetic relay imaging. So magnetic relay imaging or imagery makes use of this electromagnetism. Electromagnetism. Then there are so many other devices. Electrical relay, your ding dong calling bell, so many things. Any electronic gadget or electrical machine definitely will have an electromagnetic device. So electromagnetism is very, very important in today's life, today's science and technology. So this is one of the important inventions in modern science and technology. Oersted, when conducted the experiment, scientists all over the world, the great scientists who were gathered there, criticized him. What is this? Very simple thing. What are you going to do with this? Now, electronics and electrical technology cannot function without electromagnetic devices. Understand? Your mobile phone also uses so many electromagnetic relay and electromagnetic devices. So, we'll end this class. So, I'll give you a short homework. Here you have 4 simple questions. What is magnetic effect of electric current? How do we find the direction of magnetic field around a current carrying straight conductor? That is the second question. Third one is, why do a current carrying solenoid act as a bar magnet? Fourth one, write the properties of magnetic lines of force. So, had you listened to my class, and if you go through the textbook, you can answer these questions very easily. Simple questions, so answer it beautifully. So next class, we'll continue with the lesson. So wish you all the best. Thank you.